Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a moment of silence to acknowledge the lives of Alt Sterling and Philando Castile.
What happened at the New Orleans?
The artists, actors, athletes, and influencers Americans deem famous cannot be inherently apolitical, yet many of us expect them to be. Oftentimes, we hear of a desire to keep the entertainment and political spheres completely separated. Many wonder why celebrities cannot stick to what they know and leave politics to politicians. This is not possible in an extremely polarized 2018, nor was it amidst the furor of the 1960s. The 2016 presidential election brought a cascade of vocal celebrity opinion. Hollywood was largely in favor of Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton. Finding a wild card with demagogic tendencies in Donald Trump, more seemed to be at stake. Social media became the celebrity's platform of choice, where the most influential on Twitter and Instagram could reach up to tens of millions at the press of a button. This resurgence of celebrity involvement in politics overlapped with the most influential social movements of the decade. One such movement, Black Lives Matter, garnered the support of many of Hollywood's elite. Beyoncé and Jay-Z, LeBron James, Ava DuVernay, among others, have helped develop the phenomenon of celebrity activism in the 21st century. Perhaps they are compelled to speak out against police brutality because of the scale of reach. Do they feel obligated to? Is there a sense of responsibility to do so to make a movement they believe in more impactful? How do each specifically use their platforms? For answers, we must look towards the roots of celebrity activism during the 1960s civil rights movement.
The racism which permeates American life from top to bottom in very subtle ways and in very aggressive, obvious ways. The Negro has paid a terrible price for this. But somehow you'll find that racism in its subtlest and its most evil sense has worked its way deep into the fiber of the hearts and minds of many men and women,
as well as the on-the-frontline work of today's celebrities. Perhaps we can then determine the true impact of celebrities on a movement like Black Lives Matter. Beyoncé, LeBron, Ava DuVernay, titans of their industries with a combined following of around 170 million Twitter and Instagram users, with the power to communicate true thoughts and passions with their voices unfiltered. A movement combating racist systematic discrimination, targeting and taking innocent black lives, black children, parents, siblings, and friends, holding the heavy question of am I next? After the killing of unarmed teenager Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter activists found a new tool in social media. Celebrities with mass followings could use this tool to support the cause, and they did. Black representation in popular music, sports, film, and television has made significant progress, but only within the past few decades. The black entertainers who have made it therefore carry the unexplainable burden of telling black stories or being black role models. They serve as a bridge between a still white-structured America and its black citizens. With such a strong connection to their black supporters, celebrities are therefore unsurprisingly involved in politics affecting the black community. Despite the wealth and fame they achieve through their celebrity status, these entertainers are just as affected by and passionate about these social issues. The difference is they can effectively use social media to make their voices heard. Beyoncé and Jay-Z, widely considered two of the greatest performers of this generation, may appear to be distant to normal civilian life. The fact is, as Jay-Z explained at a rally for Trayvon Martin, I'm a father, Beyoncé is a mother. We all feel the pain and apprehension. The laws must protect everybody, or it doesn't protect anybody. We do not come from hate, we come from love of children. The couple's activism is not limited to their art, politically charged songs of the American black experience. Both employ more direct means of activism. Beyoncé's brief but powerful statements on her Instagram urge fans to contact representatives about police brutality. These posts have gained hundreds of thousands of likes and comments in support. A concert for Jay-Z's music service, Tidal, allocated to raised $1.5 million for Black Lives Matter groups. In 2017, Jay-Z began production of a Trayvon Martin documentary and the organization of the Black Lives Matter movement. Writer-director Ava DuVernay lets her work in film and television help her activism. For DuVernay, her storytelling shows Black lives mattering in a personal way. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she describes how, with her television show Queen Sugar, she's hoping to dismantle the public notion for folks outside of the community of what Black Lives Matter means. It's really about saying that Black Lives Matter, that humanity is the same when you go inside people's homes. On Twitter, DuVernay consistently expresses her frustration with the criminalization of Black life, while still celebrating Black achievement in the entertainment industry and beyond. Through social media, she's able to promote her work as well. This exposes her followers to the stories she must tell to help progress the movement. Following the shooting death of 12-year-old Tamir Rice by 2 police officers, the city of Cleveland was angry and pained.
Protesters marched in Cleveland on Monday night, hours after county prosecutors announced the grand jury's decision.
Notably, Cleveland Cavaliers star LeBron James at first chose to remain silent on the issue that essentially happened in his backyard. Post-civil rights movement, the most prominent American athletes seem to have consciously removed themselves from the political discussion. But by the 2010s, social justice movements like Black Lives Matter demanded everyone's acknowledgement. James's protest methods were subtle but powerful. Public displays of solidarity on the court, including posing with hoodies up and eyes down, much like Trayvon Martin, and I Can't Breathe shirts for Eric Garner.
The officers move in to arrest him. One of them puts his forearm around Garner's neck. More police join in, pinning him to the ground as he cries out.
James later tweeted the photo with the hashtags "We are Trayvon Martin," "Hoodies," "Stereotyped," and "We Want Justice." At the 2016 ESPY Awards, James, along with Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and Dwayne Wade, delivered a powerful speech on gun violence. James urged people to, quote, "use this moment as a call to action for all professional athletes
to educate ourselves, explore these issues, speak up, use our influence, and renounce all violence."
Are these social media posts really resonating with followers? A study by Coombs and Castillo suggests that Black followers of Black celebrities actually expect them to take a stand and be vocal. In LeBron's case, his followers were disappointed by his initially quiet reaction to the Tamir Rice tragedy.
And Cavaliers star insists he's still not knowledgeable enough on the Rice situation, which began last November, to make a detailed statement.
Promoting a No Justice, No LeBron hashtag. These followers already maintain a common sentiment of anger and pain in Black Lives Matter. Instead of blindly accepting celebrity opinion as gospel, social media followers seem to already share these beliefs. Perhaps they feel powerless and look to celebrities for leadership, guidance, and impactful action. James, in particular, is widely regarded as a neutral spokesperson of the Cleveland community, but on Twitter, he uses more emotional, passionate rhetoric to amplify and lend credibility to messages of import. Hashtag Black Lives Matter is the tool to mobilize millions of users, and celebrities such as LeBron, Beyonce, and Ava DuVernay serve as figureheads, speaking on behalf of their followers. Black celebrities and their Black followers already share the unspoken bond of a common American history and experience. There is no swaying on social media from Hollywood elites to Black civilian users because both are already mostly politically united. But the detractors to celebrity activism prove that political involvement is somewhat risky, potentially career-ruining, or even life-threatening. Upon hearing news of Jay-Z's Trayvon Martin documentary, acquitted killer George Zimmerman allegedly sent texts threatening the lives of Jay-Z, a quote bitch, and Beyonce, a quote broke whore. Nothing came of these threats, but intense vitriol for the couple, as well as other celebrity activists, is a common reaction among Twitter users. The anonymity and virtual safety net compel users to spew threats and hate speech toward politically vocal celebrities. However, the stakes were much higher for celebrity activists in an even more racially charged 1960s. Speaking out then was unheard of. Harry Belafonte, Sammy Davis Jr., and Sidney Poitier were a significant force fighting for Black civil rights. These men, 3 of what history professor Emily Raymond calls the leading 6, pioneered the concept of celebrity activism. For the first time, as racial tensions reached a boiling point, Black celebrities were vocally political. Working to overcome the white structure of Hollywood, these men's careers were already fragile, but in order to contribute to the civil rights movement, they had to further risk their careers by fighting for racial equality. Raymond describes how, quote, these celebrities provided visibility and financial, strategic, and emotional support to movement organizations and activists. Without the powerful tool of social media, Black celebrity activists of the 60s had to resort to different methods of demonstrating support for the movement. This took the form of traditional media such as film, television, and music, but active fieldwork as well. Singer Harry Belafonte, trusted friend of Martin Luther King Jr., helped organize and fund demonstrations with his own earnings. Theater and film star Sammy Davis Jr. contributed hours of his time joining in on protest marches. Sidney Poitier, the hero of films such as In the Heat of the Night, helped humanize Black Americans to racist white moviegoers. Muhammad Ali, a source of immense inspiration for LeBron James, is considered the first athlete activist. Joining the radical Nation of Islam and befriending Malcolm X was incredibly dangerous to his life and career. Public distaste with such radicalism was clear and abundant, yet Ali opted to use his fame to support a social movement he was passionate about. Celebrity activism has become largely normalized in the 21st century because of the leading six.
This has been going on for a very long time. And, I just hope we figure something out.
We are so emotionally affected by this every time this happens, and it's happening more and more.
This has more readily provoked vocal celebrity support and ensuing conversations surrounding causes like Black Lives Matter. However, the large scope and virality of Black Lives Matter tweets may have led to trendy or bandwagon support rather than true activism. The impact of the leading six is notable for the opposite reason. These men went against the grain, risking careers for the civil rights movement. But Beyonce, LeBron, and Ava DuVernay are doing more than throwing out a futile hashtag to join a trend. Following the examples set before them in the 60s, they protest in sports like Muhammad Ali, participate in demonstrations and rallies like Sammy Davis Jr. and Harry Belafonte, and tell their stories of the Black American experience through film, television, and music like Sidney Poitier. Social media is effective as a platform, but it's not the end-all be-all for political engagement. As today's Black celebrities have shown, their social media feeds can mobilize, organize, and empower users. The real change, however, occurs when lines between Hollywood elites and everyday Americans are erased. As with the civil rights movement before it, hashtag Black Lives Matter requires support and unification transcending wealth, fame, and race.
I got hot sauce in my bag. Swag.